Well, again, thank you for coming out on such a warm day to hear about Wilson's Creek. It is really the first campaign of the Civil War, the second battle, second major battle. There's never been any word police to define how large something has to be a battle, but it is the culmination of a campaign that begins here in St. Louis in 1861 in April, May, and ends in southwest Missouri on August 10th. Very interesting campaign, interesting because of the people involved, interesting because of the circumstances. It has largely been obscured as we approach the 150th anniversary of the Civil War, as we are now in it. Most people in Virginia don't know anything about Wilson's Creek, but it was not obscure when it occurred. When it occurred in August 1861, when this campaign began here in St. Louis in May of 1861, this side of the river was national news. It was only later that other events and more large-scale events overtook it. The forces involved here at Wilson's Creek were not large by later war standards, but they were by the military history of the United States up to that day. On the scale of the American Revolution, on the scale of the War of 1812 or the Mexican War, this was a substantial battle involving a lot of soldiers and very heavy casualties. The later tragedy of the Civil War, gigantic battles like Gettysburg and Chancellorsville and things that those were just beyond anything previously in American history. But when this battle occurred in the first summer of the Civil War, when so many people expected the war would be over by Christmas, naively, it was big news, it was considered a big battle, and an interesting one. So what I want to share with you today is that history, very briefly, of the campaign and battle, and highlight some of the things I think that make it particularly interesting.